Hello, humanity. My name is Brian James Hildebrand, with the glasses come off, here today to give you a reading from my book series, The Renegades. Today my reading will be from the Renegades Book 1, Renegades Rise, and we're going to be talking about the character Ethan Johnson, aka Geo today, whom you may recall from the last reading. You might think that when your life is officially screwed, completely over, that the first thing you would do is give up. It's not. You look for any scrap, any excuse to hang on, and for me, that was my family. I cursed myself as I ran home. I'd fought against climate, Stephen. I'd betrayed the thugs. I had to get home, pack, and get ready to leave. Get my family out of the city. I made a burrow and changed back into my civilian clothes before surfacing in the backyard. The house was still intact as I ran in the back door. No one else was home, which was good, though something of a miracle. Julie and I try to wrangle our 5 younger siblings every morning and make sure they get to school at all, let alone on time, and tend to have some mixed success with that. But even bothering to try and get them to school is more than Mom and Dad ever did. I wasn't the best father figure in the world, not by a long shot, but when your parents were among the worst in the world, it's not hard to do a better job than they did. I ran upstairs to my closet and grabbed the 3 duffel bags I had stashed, full to the brim. Emergency clothes, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and all the other stuff the kids would need if we needed to leave town on a moment's notice. I ran to Whitney's room and grabbed Mr. Fuzzlebee's, her stuffed lion. No chance she would leave the city without it. As I stuffed Mr. Fuzzlebee's into a bag, the phone rang. I hesitated to answer it, especially when I saw who it was on the other end. "James," I said, referring to Jimmy Two-Selves by his real name. "Ethan, what you did was pretty stupid." "You think I don't know that?" "Look, Melissa, Colin, and I are going to try and smooth things over. Convince Stephen that he pushed things too far and that he needs to forgive you or he'll lose half the gang." That might be the way to go. The easier way. But did I really want to? Did I really want to be a part of the thugs? Like I needed to ask myself that question. The answer was, and always had been, no. I had never wanted to join the thugs. There weren't many options as a 19-year-old high school dropout struggling to raise 6 kids aged from 4 to 16, though. The thugs were the only way to get the kind of money I needed to raise them. But I knew I couldn't stay if it meant following Stephen's lead. "Thanks, James, but I can't come back. I've never been a good fit, even before psychopath Stephen. You should get Melissa out of there. That's what I'm going to do. Grab my brothers and sisters and get the heck out of town. Stephen won't get better, you know that." I could feel James's hesitation as he said, "The thugs stood for something. We can't just run away from that." "Maybe you can't, but I can." "I'm sorry to see you go," James replied. "Send me the new address after you move. I'll make sure the kids get their Christmas gifts from Mel and me." "Thanks," I said. "I will." I was lying. For a criminal, James may not have been the worst person in the world, but there was still no way I was telling any member of the gang where I was going. I started to phone the schools. First up, Julie. "Hello," I said to the secretary after she picked up. "This is Ethan Johnson. I'm afraid there has been some family trouble. May I please talk to Julie Johnson?" It didn't take long for Julie to call me back. "What's the emergency, bro?" Julie asked. "I quit." I heard Julie gasp on the other end. "Stephen pushed the line again?" "Yeah," I said, trying to hold back my tears. We kidnapped someone and then..." I struggled to get the words out. "Stephen told me to kill her." "You have the bags packed?" Julie asked, her voice telling me I had her complete support. "Yes. I'll go and pick up Whitney, Nate, Brad, and Tiffany. Can you go get Mike and take the bags with you? I'll meet you at his school." "Sure thing." I grabbed the bags. "Good. I'll see you in half an hour tops." "See you." I hung up the phone, grabbed the duffel bags, and ran to Mike's school. It was only a couple of blocks away. I could get there fast enough that calling was a waste of time. I walked inside, looking for the main office so that they could call down Mike for me. "Hello," I greeted the secretary. "May I help you?" she asked. "I'm Mike Johnson's older brother. There's been a family emergency, and I need to take him out of class." She looked at me skeptically. I got that look any time I dealt with anyone who knew who we were. The deaths of my parents had been public news, so everyone knew that we were the children of supervillains, and that was a surefire way to get bullied in school, surprisingly enough, and then receive no sympathy from the teachers. I couldn't even get a job because of my parents' reputation. We were treated like criminals just because our parents were. The secretary looked through her records and found the details of Mike's classroom. She called down, "Hello, I have someone to see Mike Johnson." She nodded and answered, "Okay," into the phone a half-dozen times before hanging up and getting back to me. "It would appear that Mike is not here. Do you know where he might be?" "If I did, I'd be there, not here," I said, angrier than I intended to be, panic overriding everything else. "There's no need for that tone," the secretary said in a very huffy voice. I could see the principal and vice principal in their offices looking out at me now. The vice principal was a big man, not as big as I am, but pretty close. The principal was on the phone. It wouldn't surprise me if he was calling 911. Not the first time someone jumped to that conclusion about members of my family. "You're right," I said, trying to relax and probably failing. I need to know where he is. It's really important." "I'm sure it is," the secretary replied, clearly thinking I had some kind of ulterior motive. "Please," I started lying. "I need help finding him. The thugs, they think that my parents have some money stashed away, and they're going to hurt my family if I don't give it to them. I need to get them somewhere safe." I could hear the principal, no longer whispering into the phone. "Forget what I just said. We have reason to believe the thugs themselves are coming after one of our students, son of one of their former members. Yes, one of Strongman and Dynamite's kids. He's gone missing already." He paused for a moment, listening, then met my eye. "Your other siblings?" I called my sister. She's driving to the elementary school to get them. "The elder sister's headed to their elementary school." "Yes, I agree. It would be best if they were taken into police custody for their own safety." I sat down for a moment, trying to process everything and figure out where Mike would go. If the thugs might show up here, then we need to do something to be ready for them. You'll be safer here if you want to stay. Mike's missing. I need to be out looking for him. I raced out of the building, one thought burning in my mind. Where was Mike? That is your reading today from the Renegades. Book 1, Renegades Rise. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye, humanity.